Does anyone know what it means to be a Jerry? I know, crazy topic to bring up in a TED Talk. A Jerry is often used in ski conversation, whether it's on the slope or just in normal dialogue. An Urban Dictionary defines a Jerry as someone who is a geek or a gapper, or someone who's inexperienced about snowboarding or skiing. Now let's watch a clip really quick. This is my very first day skiing, and it was about 2 years ago up at Bridger. And as you can tell, I wasn't very good. I didn't really know how to turn or use my poles, and I definitely could have been labeled as a Jerry. There's actually a whole Instagram account dedicated to posting videos like this. Jerry is one of the many words we use in society to label beginners and laugh at their inexperience. While people may say it's not acceptable to be a novice, I'm here to tell you it's okay to be a beginner. Have you ever forced yourself to be a beginner at something? Have you accepted that you're bad at an activity and continued on? For me, at a point in my life, I had an extreme fear of being a beginner. I did not want to be bad at anything. So therefore, I avoided these things at all cost. My life became stagnant and my hobbies were few. Many individuals relate to this ideal. One poll conducted a survey on behalf of the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation and found that 54% of respondents were hesitant to pick up an outdoor activity due to fear of not being good. Additionally, 47% of respondents said that they were hesitant to join a group or activity due to fear of failure. On the other hand, Ipsos, which is an independent market researcher, conducted a survey around 2,000 Americans and found that 79% of individuals said they love the process of creating things from scratch. And 88% of individuals said that completing a creative task brings them joy. So if we experience deep reward from starting a new hobby, why are we so scared to be a beginner? Why can we not get past this risk in order to reap all the rewards? You might be thinking, why in the world am I qualified to speak on this? I mean, I'm just a student up here, went to my classes like everybody else. But in my 21 years of life, I've quickly realized the value of being a beginner. I moved here from Fayetteville, Georgia, which is about 2,000 miles away. My small town in Georgia is unfamiliar with the vast mountains, running rivers, camping destinations, and winter opportunities Montana has to offer. And honestly, Bozeman's not a beginner-friendly town. I mean, people summit peaks and run marathons on the weekends like it's casual, and 6-year-olds fly past me down runs at Bridger. But after being here, I've tried my fair share of hobbies, and let's look at some of them. And it's been so fun every single time to be in a new environment and learn the places around me. Closing day the same year I learned to ski, y'all. Proof that being a beginner, you can learn. And yes, with my new hobbies, I was terrified each time, whether I was climbing a route or skiing a blue my very first day of skiing, or during my first public speaking event, which happens to be a TED Talk. Crazy. But I learned so much, and I learned something new every time. I learned that, honestly, I'm the only one who really cared I was a beginner, and so many people were willing to help me learn, such as my climbing professor, my friends on the ski hill who put up with my skis popping off all the time, or even my coworkers teaching me an outdoor skill. Okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way and you can trust me a little bit more, let's dive into the psychology of why we fear being a beginner. Carol Dweck's mindset theory gives us a little bit of insight. She claims that individuals operate under two mindsets, a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. She explains when we operate under a fixed mindset, we believe that things are incapable of change, that we're not able to learn, that we're stagnant. This creates a fear of failure and an avoidance of challenge. Therefore, we become afraid of the unknown and never dip our toes into the process of being a novice. Additionally, Amos Tversky's and Daniel Kahneman's idea of loss aversion goes right along with this. We as humans tend to feel a greater impact from a loss than a gain, even if the gain is greater. Therefore, we do everything we can to avoid the loss. Let's say we're back up at Bridger. We're really plugging Bridger a lot. And we're up on the ski hill, and we're about to ski a black diamond for the first time. And instead of thinking all the ways you can benefit and grow and learn and be in community, instead you think of every single time you could fall. Ultimately, you decide to turn around and take a different run down. You miss out on all the reward, and who knew if that risk could happen? A reward is always promised, risk not necessarily. And then additionally, Edward Roseman's and Paul Rosen's idea of negativity bias plays a huge role in this as well. We as individuals focus on the negative. Our minds automatically result to this. We're not naturally positive human beings, as much as we wish we were. So therefore, when we think of the process of being a beginner, we think of all the negativity that could come with it. People laughing at us being inexperienced, and therefore we have such a deep fear to try something new. Okay, now that we've understood why we're a little bit of negative people and why we're scared to try something new, let's talk about how we can overcome this. Carol Dweck, when she talks about a growth mindset, emphasizes the power of yet. She explains that when we approach ideas and hobbies with the word yet, we offer the idea for growth, development, and change. I'm not experienced yet. I'm not an expert yet. When you use the word yet, you're taking an active step of confidence in yourself that you're going to grow. So next time, maybe you're hitting up a trout stream, feel like I'm not an expert yet. I can't cast yet. You're being confident in yourself that you can grow. Additionally, Dr. Judd Brewer talks that anxiety is a cycle. When we're worried and we feed into anxiety, we give ourselves a false sense of control. So we're subconsciously awarding the idea and rewarding our brains of the idea of worrying. So next time you feel anxious about something, Dr. Brewer explains that we can break this cycle by taking a step back, recognizing where our fear comes from, regulating our emotions, and questioning why we're anxious. Half the time in my situations, I've learned it's kind of pointless. So when you take that step back, you're taking a moment to break that cycle and not feed into this continued anxiety. And then I recently read a book, actually in my climbing class, which was a way I really pushed myself to get out of my comfort zone. And it's called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind by Shiro Suzuki. It explains that we as beginners have endless opportunity. There's no expectations for us. We have the ability to set our own expectations and grow and develop. Being a beginner is something amazing that we can do and we can use to our advantage. So when you're climbing a new route, throwing a wheel on pottery, remember that you're a beginner and that there's no expectations and that this is an extreme advantage. Now, what hobbies have I tried? I've tried skiing, ceramics, printmaking, baking. You get the point. And from each of these, I've learned the emphasis on patience. I'm not a very patient individual. And so this has been a huge learning curve for me. I realized that patience is part of the process, and oftentimes we receive more out of the journey than we do the achievement. And I'm a huge achievement person. So this has been huge for me to learn, grow, and develop about being patient and being more journey-oriented. Additionally, I learned that there's a community around me and that I'm able to laugh, brush myself off, pick myself back up, and continue onward. Perseverance has been a wonderful asset that I've learned. While we can have so many benefits from hobbies or trying new things, I kind of summed it down to about 6. So the first benefit I've seen is increased mental well-being. When you're a beginner, you have to sit with your anxiety and your fear, and you learn it becomes part of the process. It's not a constant state. It's something that comes and goes. I've learned that this is part of my mind, and therefore I'm more a mentally well-sound person because I've accepted emotions as part of the process. I don't try to run. I don't try to hide. I just sit with them. Second, I've experienced improved confidence. Let me tell you, you're bound to look stupid when you're new at something, and that's okay. I've become a master at embarrassing myself. And honestly, it creates a great story. I received increased confidence because I've learned that honestly, I can find confidence in simply being human rather than being perfect. When you're a beginner, you learn that you're human and that you're trying, and therefore, you just become a more confident individual because you're subjecting yourself to situations of vulnerability. Third, I've experienced increased community. I've met people I never expected myself to meet. When I try new hobbies, I'm surrounded by new people and new ideals. And when you're friends with someone who has the same values and who loves the same activities, It's just such deeper connection. What a blessing it is that we can be a beginner and constantly push ourselves out of our circle. Fourth, I've experienced enhanced creativity. Whenever you approach something new, you have to be a little creative to solve it. I mean, my first day skiing, my boots would barely even close. I had to figure out how to close them. You're creative with every task, and you learn that you need to approach things from a new angle. Additionally, I've been able to try some new hobbies in the arts and other activities that have just increased my creativity as a whole. Fifth, I've experienced a more fulfilling life. When I'm a beginner, I take the active step to improve and develop myself. I wake up every single day with a challenge, and that's so fulfilling. When you're good at everything, what do you have to encounter? Nothing. You have so much of a more fulfilling life when you're a beginner and you challenge yourself. Now, instead of simply waking up in the morning, I've become a habit to read or move my body or spend time in community with people I never expected. And sixth, I have better problem-solving skills. This kind of goes with the creativity piece. When you have to figure out how to make a hobby work, such as rock climbing, keep in mind I'm 5'2", the heels are adding a little bit. How am I going to reach the same route as the same person in my class that's 6'2"? I have to be creative, and I have to assess that, I can do it. I get to be able to be problem-solving and encourage myself to find new solutions. Now, the greatest gift you can offer yourself is to be a beginner. You're taking an active step to improve yourself. And what a blessing it is that we can experience new opportunities, new activities, and new situations around us. I leave you with one last thing. This is something we did in my climbing class called falling practice. We climb up the route with a harness on, pull some slack on the rope all the way down to our knee, and fall. There's a couple requirements for this process. One, I must look down, accept where I'm at, accept my position and the possible risk. I'm falling towards the ground. Second, I must breathe in, breathe out, regulate my emotions, and be present for the full fall. 3, I take the active step off of the route. I don't push myself off. Instead, I take the active step to subject myself to this idea of risk. So take that step for yourself. Climb that route, take on that new position, label yourself as a beginner. I encourage you to take part in some fall practice within your life. Look down, assess your situation, regulate your emotions, accept the risk, reap the reward. Take that active step off. It's okay for you to be inexperienced. I'm here to remind you once again, it's okay for you to be a beginner. Seize the day, try new things, accept the risk, forge new paths. Thank you.